In this lesson, we're going to be talking about uses of the transport layer. What's the transport layer used for? Well, primarily the transport layer is used for multiplexing. Now, what do I mean by multiplexing? If we've got a logical address, which would be the IP address, and that's at the IP layer, or the network layer if we're talking about the OSI model, if I want to communicate with you, I am going to send a communication to that IP address. Now, how are you going to differentiate who you are talking to for any given application? So let's say I want to use web services and email services. How are you going to differentiate whether I am trying to do a web service or an email service to you? Well, that's where we get into multiplexing. By multiplexing, we are talking about being able to do multiple things over the same logical address. So we do that through the use of ports. Now you can see here a source port and a destination port. I happen to be looking at a TCP packet here. UDP is the same thing. I can show you UDP packets out of this capture. And we can take a look at the source and the destination port there. What we're talking about is ports, and the ports give us the ability to have multiple applications communicating at the same time. That's what I mean by multiplexing. The other thing that the transport layer is good for is it's good for doing end-to-end communications. End-to-end communication means that in the case of TCP, for example, TCP is a reliable protocol. And it's connection oriented. So TCP handles setting up and tearing down the connection. It handles doing retransmits. In the case of UDP, it's unreliable, so we don't need to worry so much about doing retransmits, but there is a little bit of validity checking because there's a checksum. The transport layer handles the end-to-end communication, and that also includes making sure that the application gets the message that it is supposed to be getting to the best degree possible that we can, getting the message all the way to the other end and communicated to the correct port, which would be mapped to the correct application on the receiving side.